Okay, today on the podcast, I have Lauren Pederson with me, aka Miss British Columbia 2025. Lauren is also a passionate youth advocate, mental health supporter, and founder of the Inspire Initiative. Lauren is a child and youth care student who uses her platform to support young people and uplift women through community focused work and honest conversations around well being. Lauren, I am so thankful to have you and your energy with me today.
Oh, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Are you kidding? Thanks for
Yes,
having
I'm
me.
so excited. As soon as I met you, I was like, this girl has to come on the podcast. We just clicked instantly. But I think you have a way with people where you
Mm,
kind of you see people for who they are and your energy is just so gravitating that you pull people in. So I'm so
oh,
happy to have you here today.
that's kind. I appreciate that. Those words mean a lot, honestly. I think I have a lot of energy for sure.
Yes, but we definitely clicked right away. We just started like talking, and I was like, I feel like I know this girl so well already. And just right off the bat, when I first met you, I apologized for my energy because I was
Oh,
on my period, and I was like, oh, I feel so bad because this girl's so great, and I'm here with this low energy. But you made that conversation so comfortable, and you're so welcoming. So,
thank you. Thanks so
yeah.
much.
So I wanted to start this conversation off with talking about 2025 because this is your title year for
Yeah.
Miss British Columbia. And I wanted to ask what surprised you most about this year.
I think the wild obstacles that I now wouldn't call obstacles, I would call divine intervention. I it's insane. You can plan everything to a T. Like I'm a huge planner, very type A. Maybe it's because I'm a Capricorn stellium. I'm not sure. But I one thing about me is I'm gonna have a plan in about four different planners for all four different phases of my life. And but this year random things occurred out of the blue. I was actually just saying to a friend earlier today for coffee. She kind of asked me a similar question, ironically. And I was supposed to go to Miami Fashion Week to influence and do some things there. I got hit by a golf ball. And I think you know about this, but I got hit by
I
a
did
golf
not.
ball. Okay, midair. I didn't see it coming. And like, we can laugh. My point
Oh my
is,
God.
things just happen in wild, wild ways. What's and also interesting is, things come out and time reveals lots of situations. And I'm the kind of person that believes that, a roadblock, like physically, even like if you're driving down the road, is just protection. So that's what surprised me the most about 2025 would be the unbelievable random changes that I never saw coming.
If you could pick one thing to come with you into 2026 and leave behind one thing, what are you taking and what are you leaving?
Good question. One thing I will take with me are the relationships and the love that I got this year.
Oh,
And I mean
so
love,
sweet.
like, yeah, I mean it. That's the biggest thing that I would like extract out like a little dropper because they are people, it includes yourself, even just those kind of connections. They're at the core of who I am. And even the kids that I met throughout volunteering, like just all the relationships and moments that were in my heart. And what I would leave behind is definitely the physical pain. And that has to do with my health, some struggles earlier this year, and then random getting hit by a golf ball, spraining my ankle, like just the, it's like, okay, I would leave behind the random obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So with those obstacles in place, I like the reframe there that they're just challenges that you're getting through and like it's an obstacle along your journey. And
Yeah.
I think you touched on the moment when you got hit by this golf ball isn't actually, it doesn't mean you're not getting to where you're going. It's just
Yeah.
a it's just a block in the road, but you're still on the path to where you're going. So like advice would you give somebody who's met with all these obstacles in place and feels like they're being held back?
Stop swimming upstream. If you are swimming upstream, I fear that you may, like, you're going against the grind of the natural fluidity of the world because things don't always make sense. There's been a lot of moments this year, and that's why I've really tapped into spirituality, manifestation, the co-current nature of the universe. The energy you put out is what comes back, like all those pieces. But when I would have this one fixed way of getting to where I want to go, then I would perpetuate this negative energy and this negative fluidity. And then things would feel rigid and blocked and unstructured the way I wanted. So when I started to let go of, I want to get from point A to point B, I'm going to let go of it needs to go like that, that, and this. And once I let go of that, slowly, it took a long time. I then
Yes.
found different fluidity ways to get to point B. And in fact, I usually got to point B actually way faster, even if
Yeah.
it's a slow thing. So yeah, that's what I would say. Stop swimming upstream because you're gonna burn out. You're gonna like you might drown. Don't go if you're feeling like you're going too far upstream, maybe go with the flow of the water, you know?
Yes. Oh, I love that so much because
Mm.
when people have that forcing energy behind it, it just
Yeah.
drains you more. So that's great advice. And that's the way I live too. Just go with the flow as much as you can. But it
Yep.
is a struggle to get there and it is hard to let go. So, how do you let go in order to live a little more fully? Like, what was the process
Mhm.
for you?
So whether you want to believe in, the universe or a higher power, that's up to you. I understand either way. I believe that everything happens for me, and I really believe that. So even if I'm driving to work and now I'm going to be late and now I'm starting to feel anxiety in my chest because there's construction that I didn't know about, I'm totally making this up, but let's pretend okay, that's holding me up. And I'm going to tell myself, because it's so minute as well in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to
Totally.
reframe out of that little moment. So, well, it's holding me up. It could be protecting me. Burnt toast theory. Your toast
Yes.
burns in the morning, so then you're late to work and it saves you from a car. I really live with that belief because it also teaches me, even if it's not right, which I believe it is, but moving on, even if it's not, well, it helped me feel better in that moment because that moment was sucky. So it's like, for me, it's a win-win. Reframing in those little moments of, okay, what is this doing for me? And just asking yourself that, what is it doing for me? This can feel like this right now, but what is it doing for me? Well, it's slowing me down, but I might as well turn on my song. You can't go upstream and fight the natural way sometimes. You just can't.
Yeah. Okay. So, have there been moments where you have felt pressure this year to perform or to fit a
Mhm,
certain image?
mhm.
And what did you do to stay grounded and authentic in that? Because part of this blends into the previous question I just had, because it's a mindset thing. It
Yep.
takes notice of you catching your thoughts and reframing them and then having the new perspective of, okay, like, what am I really going to do about this? Is this the energy I want to have moving forward throughout my day?
Yep. There absolutely was pressure to perform. And that can come from external sources. And that doesn't just have to do with a title. That can be a parent, that can be a partner, that can be it can be anything, a boss at work, right? It's not just Lauren's Miss British Columbia and this kind of that idea. But absolutely, there was personal pressures that I was putting on myself to perform and to show up and look a certain way. And once again, the unexpected things of 2025, I then become incredibly sick. And it's a bit of a story, and it's on a couple actually other forums kind of like this and podcast related stuff, but regarding my health. And I woke up and I had to go to the ER. Like I woke up and I have those needles, they freak me out. I have like a phobia. But I woke up and I have those in my arm, and it's like I couldn't exercise all the times that I wanted to, the same way I wanted to. So I was forced to be pushed through that uncomfortable, weird space where it's like I can't then compete. I had to pull out of Miss World Canada, which was so hard for me and so hard for people that support me, and they were lovely in that. But once I pushed through that space, honestly, likely this summer, something beautiful happened because I realized now I can actually relate the most to others in the best ways possible. And number two, that means that I can connect with them in even a greater and more authentic way and create more positive influence as Miss British Columbia. And number
Absolutely.
three, I never knew how in touch I could become with myself. It became like an onion, 2025. I was just unraveling. I tried one thing, then I start to feel better. I get hit by a golf ball. And and we have to see if I have a fractured
I
rib. And
don't
I
know
go,
how I
oh
don't
my
know
God.
this.
I go, yeah, I can't believe this. It was like a famous story for like a week. It was, anyway, it was really a moment in time. And my point is like, just I had to sit in the mirror and be like, okay, my body isn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm not able to go to the two fashion shows that I had planned. I'm not able. Okay, but what am I able to do? And you know what? What really matters? Oh my God, what really matters? And then I focused on my self-esteem workshops with girls because I could show up to those. Even though I had blood tests that morning and I was off work for a month or two during my crowning, I could show up to the Boys and Girls Club. I could show up to that little school. I could show up over here. I couldn't fly to the fashion show, So
Yeah.
I believe every single thing exactly happened the way it was supposed to during my crowning time because I was taught there's no point in performing. Performing is for a stage. It's not for people. So,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
my long answer to that, but it's a very personal process to push through.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. I know a little bit of the details, but as far as putting that pressure on yourself, where do you think that came from?
It has been long standing. It's long standing. It definitely goes back to my childhood, and I'm super transparent about it. I always want to outperform myself. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to really experience it all. Like next Tuesday, maybe I'll go skydiving. Like I love life. I find it really fun. So I
Yes.
like to do as many things possible, and I like to do it. I strive for excellence, but it's like so you got to ask who put those thoughts in your head. Is it parents? Is it grandparents? A lot of it when I would sit, because I started really meditating, I would sit and I thought about my grandparents when they immigrated here. So I had grandparents from the Netherlands that fled from the war, and they fled around a similar time on the other side, my dad's side, from Denmark. And what they created, the lives that they created for themselves, and how they strove. I wanted to outdo them. I wanted to make them feel proud. And I've actually held some of those conversations with my grandparents this year. They're like, that's not no, no, you already are doing that because you're a great person. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you need to dig deep,
It's about in
personally,
here. Right.
why you want to perform. And that's what I've definitely done quite a bit this year.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. So it all does come back around to pretty much your childhood. I
Oh
hate to
gosh, yeah.
break it to
Oh, every
everyone
time. Me
listening,
being a
but
child counselor. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. As someone that is moving towards a master's in counseling psychology and expanding your nonprofit work, how do you envision your future work bridging personal growth and community transformation?
Oh, I love that. It is a process of connection, I would say. When I'm fully connected to myself, like in stillness, that's one thing because I used to be such a busybody and I still am, but I'm learning how to slow down in my evenings. Sounds really small, but I'm learning how to slow down in my evenings and then make my time. So completing my master's, continuing with my nonprofit about advocacy and safety work with girls and women. Like I now, once I prioritize my time, much simpler. So I'll even do 45-minute stints. I work with my ADHD, 45-minute stints at my desk. That's how I'm going to be focusing on things for the next week. Like I don't spread out my work. I'm huge on time management right now. Time is everything.
Oh,
How you manage your
yes.
time, everything. And yeah, especially with all those things that you just brought up in that question. But the biggest thing is connection to others and intentionality. I'm now very intentional with my next steps of what I'm doing because I think when you're trying to move, if you want to create a TED talk, you need to be so safeguarding with your own energy because it can be just drained. It can be drained from negativity. It can be drained from too much social media. So all of that has to go back to connection with others. I'm very intentional about the people that I connect with. And number two, with myself, always staying grounded in myself. And that actually has a bit to do with my evening walk routine. That's when I
Okay, well,
process.
break down your routine for us because we love
Yes.
tangible takeaways here. So, like, what are things that you do, and maybe someone wants to
Evening
implement
walk
them?
every single night. I walk every single night I do 5K. So it can be 30 minutes, it can be an hour. Sometimes I do 6K, sometimes it's even more because I'm always trying to get my steps in. I'm a big
Hmm.
fitness kind of
Oh,
person. Oh, I
amen.
know.
I'm like living on
Oh,
my walking pad in this
yeah.
rain.
Yeah, I want to get one of those.
Yes, do.
But yeah, I would definitely say my evening walk is when I dream and I visualize and I release from the day. I do at least 5K. And by the way, I do this in the rain. I do this even if it's snowing. I can be in Ontario with family. I can be in the South with family in the States. Like it doesn't matter. I always will make it in the morning or in the evening. Calms me right down. Also, on that walk, I feel like I start to dream and visualize my next steps. So I recommend a daily walk, even if it's like a microdose, like you do 20 minutes. It's huge with neuro amygdala regulation as well. Number two, setting aside one day a week, and this is hard, that you don't book things or it's your day off. If
Oh,
you work,
sorry, I have to interrupt. This is something I tell my clients all the time. First thing we do when we look at their schedule is we book time for them, then
that's so
work.
funny. Oh my gosh, it took me years
Top
to
of the
figure that
list.
out.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Okay, keep
that's
going.
yeah. Number two, yeah. Number two would be one like Sundays, even like if you are working that day, that doesn't count. No, that means you're getting ready for work and packing lunch. No. So you need to have one day off, quote unquote, a little bit a week, in my opinion. I would say number three, physicality. So sauna, I'm huge once or twice a week. I do a sauna, I do a steam, I do a little bit of cold, not a ton, but
Yeah.
a little bit. But I'm huge with things that are big with my physical body. So if it's movement, like I've tried tennis that week, I've tried paddleboarding that week. One time that's physical. I like to be outside as well. One physical activity. And then I would say the other thing is when you're in this hustle mode or you're trying to achieve anything, we don't make time for connection with friends or things outside of business. And I believe those keep us the most grounded and the most fulfilled sometimes. So that would be step number four. One time a week, even if it's just a phone call, even
Yeah.
if it's just a FaceTime, even if it's a coffee for 30 minutes, make the time. Make the
Yeah, what
time.
I like to do is like habit stack. So on your walk, if you have had a minute to
Mhm.
decompress and like sit with your thoughts, like maybe you did 3K on your own,
Yep.
and then you're like, for the last two, come with
Yep.
me, like not being afraid to invite people into your plans. I just want to put that out there in case
Oh, I
anyone gets an
love
idea.
that.
Because oftentimes
That's
people are like,
so
oh, do you
good.
want to come here with me? And then be like, actually, this is what I have planned, but you're welcome to join me in my. So you don't
Yeah,
mess up your schedule. I was going to say fuck up your schedule,
I
but
love
mess
that.
up your schedule works fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I love habit stacking. I love those kind of things. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
think that's super important. I love that you touch on community so much because,
Hmm.
especially where we're at in this time of life,
Yeah.
community has been put on the back burner. Connection has been put on the back burner. So I think it's more and more important that we do bring those connections and that community back to the forefront of like how we operate our life.
Hmm.
And what are you doing specifically to grow your community with the
Hmm.
sorry, what's it called? The
Inspire initiative.
yes, the Inspire Initiative.
Yeah. So like-minded intentionality. Individuals, intentional. So people that I seek out or I meet in certain places, charity galas, those kinds of things, but I'm being very intentional about the people that I let into the circle. It's not about, quantity of trying to do as many events and trying to do, it's the quality of the event that I create or the quality of the fundraiser that I create, in my humble opinion. So my big thing with growing community is connecting with like-minded individuals. And I'll be honest with you, I find that very, very simple. I don't find it hard. I don't think it's hard at all. If it's hard for you, I would check in with yourself and see what are the blocks that you're feeling. Is it anxiety? Like people, I believe most people are really good. People are good and people want good in this world. People want to help one another. People love to be needed. People want to make change. People don't like things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? So when
Hmm.
I reached out to Yvette, the owner of Six Sense Self Defense, and I literally just DM'd her and I said, I love what your company stands for. If you want to connect sometime, I would love to. We got coffee the next day, and then I got private self defense courses from her, and I was like, this is unreal. I need to show this to the girls that I work with. And there you go, right? It's like going with the flow of life, just acting on those small little impulsive and intentional things. If they feel safe and if they feel natural, going with them, and your community will grow.
Yeah, and I think you're listening to your intuition a lot too because you're like I
Yes.
so that makes it easier. But is there anything that you are scared of or like fearful of?
You know what? Very practically, what I get scared of is the because my focus is on women's safety, women and girls' safety, especially in 2026, and the things that are put in place, you don't know what the ripple effect of that's going to be, right? We don't
Right.
know how that might land with
Mm,
certain genders. I
yeah.
don't know if then, as I grow, if I then become a target of certain ways. And I'm very comfortable with saying that out loud.
Yeah.
It's just a true and harsh reality. So as I continue to grow and visibility potentially continues to grow, which is the goal of my mission of making Canada a safer place for women and girls, then what else is coming with that? But also law of life and laws of these kinds of things is, I mean, I do believe that, how do I even say this? Because I want to be so down to earth with this, but I feel protected. I feel like things will always be fine. I feel like the universe works in really funny ways. And I'm not really fearful. I just am aware of what can happen when visibility grows, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Mhm.
Absolutely. Can we touch on your story a bit and what
Yeah.
led you to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was this summer. It was in a city here in British Columbia, and it was after let's just say like a certain event. I'm specific on not saying why for other reasons, but
Yeah.
yeah, so it was a specific event. I was just walking to my car. I think actually that earlier that day there was security with us, but security goes, right? I'm then walking to my car, which is semi rare, but just also normal. We're human beings, right? We walk alone to a car. And I noticed that I'm being followed just along this road, middle of the day. I think it was like 3 p.m., super sunny outside. It was in the summer. And people are also all around, walking to my car that's parked just up there. And women and female intuition is acutely aware. And I just know, okay, he's now following me. I've walked up this one road and then I turned right where my car was parked up there. And I can just feel, then I stop. It's literally this basic. I then stop. He's then stopped. He has no bags in his hand. He has no dog. He has no children. He's completely alone, unkept, what have you. My point of the story is that I keep walking and I'm still a while to my car, and I just you start to and you start to walk faster, and it reminded me of other situations in my life where I absolutely felt unsafe, and that specific one because I felt so alone. My battery was low on my phone. Girl, like just not a good scene. And you're just thinking of all these things, right? Um,
Yeah.
anyway, so I run into a coffee shop that's right where my car was parked on the street, and I just sit in there, and you just see him stand, and you just see him go back and forth outside of the coffee shop multiple times. Are you sniffing flowers? What are you doing? No, you're not. So anyway, called my mom. And then after like 15, 25 minutes, maybe I sat in there. I told the person actually in there, the lady in there, and they don't know them. It's just an individual that could be homeless. I don't know, but you just never know. It could be, and this is like a trigger warning, but it could be a knife. Like you don't know what's going to happen. You literally have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
So in that moment where you're alone, I don't have someone to protect me around me, you become, oh my God, am I 30 seconds away from something really happening? You never know. And you always think it's not going to be you until you feel that feeling in your throat, and like it's just sickening. Like you just feel nauseous. So I got into my car, sped away, and then when I got home, I was really emotional, because it's like, when am I ever safe then? If
Yeah.
it's in the daylight and
Yeah.
in public in a safe place.
Well, that's
So
the
I knew I
thing
needed
that
to talk about
I like that you brought up is that it's like in daylight, bad things can happen too. And like you're not
that.
safe just because the sun is out, unfortunately. Like I wish that was the case.
Yep.
But then like none of us would ever leave our house at the night. But being said, I never leave the house past 8 p.m. anyways,
Is no,
usually.
yeah.
But yeah, I just like that you bring that up because also people in Canada, they're like, "Oh, Canada's so nice. It's so safe here," especially where we're at in British Columbia. Like I'm
Yes.
like, "You guys were surrounded by water." And because of my like everyone has a story, right? Like which is
Mhm.
sad to say. Like so many women have stories of like examples like this. I have my
Yes.
own and I worked on cruise ships and like I
Oh,
know what goes on in like human
Yeah.
trafficking, and it happens here in Canada too. It happens in BC, and people think we're so safe. And it's just like,
Yes.
why
Yeah.
were we taught that it was so fucking safe here
It's
when
the
it's
weirdest
clearly
thing.
we need more information and we need to be educated on how to take care of ourselves.
Yep.
We're not immune
Yep.
at
That's
all.
no, no, and no one is. And like it's just become normalized that every woman has a story of honestly, I and this is really bold to say, but I don't know someone that hasn't had a story like this or something very similar. Like threat of their life in the moment, or they're like, this feels really wrong, or threat of their physical safety of any kind. It's just become a norm, and it's like, well, and hopefully it's relatively safe. And wow, that's wild that that happened, that a man approached or whatever happened at a park. It can be anything, and it's like, no, it's way too normalized, and I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of
Hmm.
being scared. I'm so sick of being scared. And I went into like a hiding the following 2 weeks. That was earlier, right at the start of the summer. And you blame yourself. Well, I put myself out there as Miss BC walking in this parade, right? I put myself out there. So this is my fault. Oh my gosh. Right. And it's like, if I keep myself small, if I don't post, maybe I'll delete Instagram. All of these things happen. And these are the angles that people don't talk about. Right. But
Yeah.
then at the end, I pushed through, and I was actually on my evening walk, ironically. I was looking up at the sky, and I was like, you know what? I'm done being afraid. What can I do to not feel afraid? And that's where Yvette came in. And she taught
Oh,
me incredible things about
oh,
what to do if they go on this side. And anyway, so yeah,
that's good that
that's
you took your power back that way and got this self-defense lesson. So I'm sure that's
yes,
something that you recommend, and you can refer her here as well. Obviously, we'll tag her
yes,
below. And
yes,
that also leads back to your why with the Inspire initiative, because you're sick of feeling this way, which is
yeah,
like
yeah.
horrible, but it's a great opportunity for you to bring women together and for them to feel safer where they live.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And it started at the start of this year. Right after I was sick, I was diagnosed with pneumonia in the first few days of January. That started from like my endometriosis, and I got pretty sick. And then I just was not comfortable in my own body. So I was like, I want to not have young girls feel this way as well. That
Hmm.
they feel like they have to compare and worry so much about how they look on the outside, because it just does not matter. I'm sorry, it just doesn't matter. And that's where the Inspire Initiative started. That was my initial why, was to improve self-esteem. That's not to do with anything exterior based.
I love that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
important. And yeah, self-worth is everything at the end of the day. So if you can help,
Yes, it
I'm
is.
all here for that. And where can people find the Inspire initiative?
Yeah, so our
Instagram?
website finally launched, which is really, really
Oh,
exciting. Yeah,
sweet.
yay. So you can see that on my social media or my Facebook pages. There will be a new Facebook page coming probably really soon, in the next like 3 to 5 days. My assistant's helping out with that, which is awesome. But a lot in the next, what come January 2026, the main thing would be to be following me at Miss Lauren Pederson on Instagram.
Okay. I want to talk about living a wildly fun life because you're like all for
Yeah.
it. You're like, I'll jump out of an airplane, go
Oh,
skydiving.
let's go.
So,
Yeah.
what are you hoping your 2026 looks like as far as living a wildly fun life?
Well, funny you should ask. There's quite a few really exciting experiences that have been in the works right now. But what's wild and really just aligned with me is continuing to push my comfort zone and my box and my window of tolerance. So if that's continuing in the film industry, if that's continuing in with opportunities that seem to be kind of poking themselves at me, skydiving is actually on the horizon. I've been
Okay,
wanting to do that
yay.
forever, and I want to do it with my dad. And
Oh,
so,
I have the same dream. I have the same dream.
really,
Yeah, I want
oh,
to go with my dad.
oh, that's a sign. I think we gotta do it.
Yes, yes, we're aligned.
Totally. And another thing is continuing with my pilot license. So that's a lot of work. But
That's so
um,
cool.
yeah, 2026 feels really right. I think this was the year of hard work, and 2026 will be the year of a lot of fun. So
Have you seen the Instagram? Well, it's not an Instagram thing, but have you seen the horoscope thing with the snake year of
yes.
2025 and the
Oh my
horse?
gosh, I was gonna bring it up.
I had no
Yes.
idea
So
that
accurate.
we were
That's
in
so
the snake year, the 9 year, whatever, and we're heading
mhm.
into the horse year. But reading those things makes so much sense, and I wanted to know your thoughts. You feel like that
Oh,
too?
Yeah, golf ball get hit, sprain your ankle on the runway. Yes, I feel like
Yeah.
I really did shed the illusions of things that could have been this year. And it was like, nope, that's not going to work. Nope, you're not going to do that. You're actually meant to go here and here and here. So I'm honestly thrilled for next year, mainly because we can say goodbye to this one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we can
exactly.
say
Head into the
goodbye.
horsepower, and I'm so
Yes.
excited to see everything you do and follow
Yeah.
along your journey and see what's next for you as well.
Mhm.
Before we go, is there anything you wanted to add to give to the listeners?
Oh, I would say no matter what place you're in right now in your life, whether you're completely struggling or things are happening so well for you, I just want to nudge you in the right direction of find love for yourself today. Know that if you are struggling, it's temporary. Anything can be temporary. We can change it. And I encourage you to reframe the situation that you're in because there's always good to find in your day. There's always something good every single time. So take care of yourself. And I'm sending love to you. That's what I would
Oh.
say.
And then I always ask my guests on my podcast, what's the wildest thing you've ever done? Or one
I,
of the wildest,
yeah,
because
I
it's
know.
sometimes hard to, it's sometimes hard to summarize.
The wildest thing I ever did was probably, I mean, let's say bungee jumping was pretty good this year. I'd say wildest thing I ever did was actually drive to a pageant when I was in my late teens with no experience at all.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, across the province. Or yeah, I'd say that. And just show
That's
up.
pretty wild.
Yeah, just figured
Yeah.
it out. I had
Oh
no
my
idea.
God, you're so cool. I freaking love
Thanks.
that.
We just like to try things and just throw ourselves in. So
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
it lands and sometimes,
Sometimes
but
you learn, right?
we learn for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren. And
Oh,
I will link everything below.